I am going to share with you two pivotal stories of my practice that saw me from having nobody to treat to 30 patients a day to eventually managing to make my paying private practice into 40 treatments a week. Fresh out of uni, I landed in Kathmandu with heart full of expectations that I'm gonna be very busy treating a lot of patients in this Tibetan medicine clinic with my acupuncture needles. But the reality was not that. It was full empty. What I did there on that night while I was just in despair and crying, I came up with a strategy that got me 30 patients a day into the clinic within few weeks. I am going to share with you that very strategies so that you can use that in your context. I was charging full price of practice back in Sydney though, where I was charging full service price to the patients. I couldn't really hack it. My practice was really dire. I was working at two different clinics where the owners were thriving and doing really, really well, but I was seeing nobody. On average, I was doing about 5 treatments a week. It was really, really depressing. About 3 years into my private practice, which was just basically not existing, one day, really broke, I had to move into a shared house, nearly 40 years old woman. It was really, really low point in my life, really. Anyhow, in this really depressing situation, the Tao gave me the gift of, in this house, there was a spare bedroom. One day I thought, oh, maybe I'll see some friends who live nearby, because my clinics that I was working at was about 20 minutes drive away in either side of the suburb that I was living in. I decided there to price my services about 20% less than what I was charging in either of these clinics, because I didn't have to share my fee with the owners. So I offered the price 20% about there, cheaper in my home clinic. It allowed me to recommend twice a week treatments to most all of my patient group then, because most of my patients that I was looking after that time had pain issues and I wanted to see them twice a week, but I just couldn't before say it. So I was just seeing them once a week and just they get a little bit better, they go home, they're not getting treated, so they get worse again. And I was not getting the results that I needed. But this pricing allowed me to offer them, to recommend them twice a week. And they all, to my great surprise, said, yeah, sure. And they all came and they got better. Surprise, surprise. So referrals started to happen and I gained more confidence. So I started to ask them for referrals. And I started to network and go to the yoga class and ask people to come and see me because I was seeing the results. Crazy, right? Branding and marketing is two different things. Branding is what people talk about you when you are not in the room. That is the branding. Like Apple, what people talk about it, how they refer to it when they are not there. That's the branding. Whereas marketing is how you talk about what you do, so eventually, essentially, to get the people to know why they should come and see you. Branding is something that you build over time, and the goodwill that you build in it is what's going to get you to have impact long time later. Many years later, patients that you saw 10 years ago bring their kids and their grandkids. This is all great. When you go into a new clinic to work, you go to, let's say you work at Project Dow, you started working there. Exciting. You go to your local yoga class and you go there and you introduce yourself. Oh, I'm from Project Dow. I just started to work there and I wanted to join you guys to start doing yoga here. They said, wow, great. Oh my God, I love Project Dow. All our teachers go there. Ah, Project Dow is such a lovely place. Welcome to the family. Well, the instantaneous goodwill that you've got, this is the branding. You need to speak about what you do in the way that lands on the people who's listening so that they will come and see you. Now, that is marketing. The mistake that I see, and I have made, my friend, many times, mistake that we make often in regards to the marketing is that we front load all the branding work that we've got to do, that we need to build over time later on, such as building social media presence, building website, SEO, newsletters, things like this, that actually what I call as a long-term marketing strategies. These are the stuff that's going to bring you results in like 3 months, 6 months time. Organizing an event even, workshop and things like this, that takes a lot of your work until you see that patient convert and start coming to see you. So when you think about marketing, I want you to think about the marketing in 3 horizontal stages. So first is the short-term marketing strategies, where you engage people who's just around you, like your family, friends, your colleagues, and get them to come in right now, tomorrow, next week, right now. Second is the mid-term marketing strategy. These are the strategies that get you to have referral system, having the network of people. You start treating your patients and then you have a system to ask them for the referral. When is the right time to ask them for referral? What about building your business, Google Business Review and things like this, which will attract other people? You need to have this kind of like mid-term strategies so that things keep on ticking. When you get these layers of the horizon right, then you have flow of new patients coming in without having to do big things. And the big things, my friends, like doing an event or going for a screening at a gym or doing a talk or building your website or your social presence, is something of course you've gotta do. You just gotta do these things, but you gotta do one thing at a time, slowly, steadily, in the system, so you're not doing it all at once. Pricing and discounts. This is very, very tricky and sticky topic, but this is what I found. Your patients, despite what you might believe, are not looking for discounts. They are looking for solutions to their problem. I have run community acupuncture within my own clinic, believing and thinking that I would love to give access to those who can't afford acupuncture, because I thought those people are there who couldn't afford it and that's why they are not coming. I made that assumption and I offered group treatments for cheaper price. Few years of running that, what I've come to realize is that people who actually started to make genuine relationship with me, they actually just came to see me personally 3 times more expensive. Why? Because they saw the value in our relationship. What that taught me was that people are not paying for my services because they don't see the value in it, they're not convinced in it, not because they cannot afford it. But if you are not busy and you want to make sure that your pricing is in the place, in the sweet spot where it lowers the barriers of entry for your patients in general, and also you want to make sure that your pricing allows you to offer and to recommend the kind of treatments in the frequency that you need to see them with. So for example, if you're a master tongue acupuncturist, you need to see and you'd like to see your patients twice, 3 times a week. Then it'll be really helpful for you to have some kind of tier system. If you're a classical acupuncturist and you want to see only one patient an hour and you're dealing with this very severe or complex and complicated chronic diseases, then you must charge a lot more than the practitioners who is able to see 3, 5 patients an hour. So take care in the way that you price yourself. But you do not want to undercharge yourself, my friend. But you also want to make sure that your price actually sits right in your system, so that when you are saying to your patients you need to come 3 months or 5 months or 3 times, even 2 times, that you feel comfortable in recommending that frequency. Get used to this idea of smart discounting. If you're gonna give discount, go big rather than small. 50% of discount works much better than 30% discount. It's crazy. I was so successful with my referral, give me a referral for 50% discount, discounted initial consultation for my patients. I used to give 50% discount on the initial consultation with me to my patients. After 3, 5 treatments my patients received from me, I would give them 3 vouchers like this, beautiful voucher. You have the design later on in the weeks when you're gonna do this. And I used to give this 50% discount on the initial consultation. And I ask my patients, if you know anybody who would benefit from my services, I would very much appreciate it if you could give this voucher to your loved ones. And people really, really value this. And I used to get stream of patients coming in, and I thought, oh, maybe this just be too, I will make it 30%. And guess what? It just didn't work as well. You want to lower the barrier of entry? My patients, I see them 20 times. In the great scheme of things, giving 30%, 50% discount for the initial consultation, it's really not a big deal. So if you're gonna do the discount, do big discount. Make your discount time limited, so it creates urgency and people actually act on it. And you also don't want to think about this discount as something that you're doing for a long time. Do show the people who's coming into you that you hold them in a treatment program and deliver results. Don't get carried away within that 8 treatments where you can't really shift everything in this person with all these other disharmonies that you're noticing in this person. If your patient came in for shoulder pain, shift that so that your patient gets the outcome that she wanted and build trust in your medicine. So let's design that sweet deal for you. So you can see there's many examples that I give. Please read through them and see what actually resonates with you. I've given you some kind of principles before. Give big discount, make them so good that it'll be hard for people to turn it down. You're going to be first of this deal, you're going to be offering it to your friends and family. Get them to come in and experience your services. There are scripts in the workbook for you to utilize. So first, just focus on thinking of the deal that you want to offer. And if you are really at the beginning of your practice and you've invited people for free treatments, you want to then perhaps right now think about what you want to do for the follow-ups, because after that you get them in for free treatment and then like at the end you're like, oh, do you want to come pay for this? Can be awkward. You want to think about how you're going to phrase that in advance. And if you want to, for example, insist on this 8 treatment thing and say, okay, I will offer 8 treatments to everyone. But is that gonna really work? If you have these kind of feelings, perhaps you can offer 30% discount. I know I said 30%, but if you're gonna be giving all 8 treatment discount, I think 30% is more than generous, really. So 30% or 50% of the 8 treatments, you are going to make a package of that. So think about all of that. Now the next step is just almost as important as finding that deal. Now you've got to choose who you're gonna send these messages to. Don't overcomplicate this. Just 5 people that's in your life who love you a lot, who want to support you. So you can just ask them to come in for giving you feedback or anything like this. So reach out and decide on the people that you're going to do this week. The thing is, next week I'm gonna get you to reach out to 5 more people. So what I want you to do today is to make a list of people that you are going to be reaching out to. You think you don't have those people, but you do. To not filter, oh, I don't think Ben's gonna come and do these kind of things. You don't know. Don't shortchange Ben. Don't make these assumptions that he won't do it. And if that story comes, really, do that worksheet. In the meantime, as you do this, making the list, thinking about the deal, writing the script, all of that, you may have stories come up because this can be really awkward. My friend, I really get it, okay? So I still struggle with that sometimes. So I get it. You don't want to sound salesy and pushy. You don't want to put people on the spot. The scripts are there to help you word things in a way that don't put people on the spot. So utilize them, but if there's any stories that's coming up, which there probably will be, please work them out on the worksheet. And if that's still not really pushing you through, you know where to come. Come and speak to us at the Business of Tao on the Substack in our community. Everybody's going through the same thing. We all don't want to sound salesy, okay? And we shouldn't. So come and leverage on the community. Lastly, I want you to remember that your medicine is already inside you, and all you have to do is to get out of its way. Have a beautiful week, and I look forward to seeing you